So, welcome, Sayantani. And again, let me take this opportunity to congratulate you for this amazing feat, especially after all
Thank you.
that, all bad things that happened. Bad
I
things
know.
means all the disappointments that happened again and
I know.
again.
I know.
For everyone who is present here, why don't you introduce yourself? Before that, guys, if you want to ask any question while we are talking, please feel free to put it in the chat. We will take up those questions. I mean, Anthony will take up. And if and after that, once all the questions are done, then I will allow everyone to unmute themselves and you know ask their questions directly. So you can use the chat right now to put all your questions. So, Anthony, please please kindly introduce yourself for everyone.
Thanks, Anshul, for the intro. So, hi everyone. I am Shantini. So, I have around 6+ years of work experience at the time when I'll be joining ISB this year, and I'm an R2 admit. So, just to give you a brief background about myself, I started out my career in developmental journalism. I was working in the social impact area in media for about 3 years of my life, before which, after which, I decided that I would make a pivot towards marketing. And then I started working in content, digital, and social media marketing. And my last working role before joining ISB was as a marketing chief of staff with a Australian cybersecurity startup. So that is just my experience in brief. Other than that, I have also had some experience in entrepreneurship as well. Like in 2020, I paired up with my roommate to start a small cloud kitchen business, which we ran quite successfully, I would say, for around 7, 8 months. But before that, again, like repeated lockdowns were happening, and for that we had to shut down operations because of logistical constraints. But it was indeed a really good experience to add to my profile. But yeah, as Anshul mentioned, there have been a lot of ups and downs in my career journey, especially in like last 1 year, 1 year back, when I was working with a logistics company, and I was working as the content and social media manager there. And so it happened so that the company went kind of bankrupt, and that led to a mass downsizing across the company. And I was one of the persons to face a layoff at that time. But but yeah, and after that, it has been a journey to from there and getting another job and then coming to ISB. It has been quite a difficult journey, I would say. But yeah, all's well that ends well. So, and thanks to Anshul also. He has been seeing all the challenges that I have overcome, and he has been really helpful with my application process throughout and the interviews and everything. So, yes, I'm here now today.
So my question to you, Anthony, is I remember in 2023 when you got a 690, we were all
Mm,
ready to apply. And then you said,
yes.
no, I don't want to apply with I want to apply with a higher score. Because of everything that happened after that, you had to apply with the same score. And then you're getting it this
Yes.
year. Do you regret that
Yes.
decision of not applying in 2023?
Uh, to some extent, because at that point in time, I was a person who did not have like a faced something like a layoff in their career so far.
Right.
But at the same time, in the next year, it so happened that by a stroke of luck and by some of the networking and hard work that I did, I landed a really much better offer. And the past 1 year has been really insightful and really, I would say it has been really great contributing to my career growth. And probably that has improved my profile as well. But at the same time, I would have loved to get the time and chance to improve my GMAT score, but it did not happen.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Now I want, because we can talk a great deal about your success at ISP, I want you to focus on a bit of the failures at IIM ABC.
Mm,
I'm not saying you are very well trained, but you did a little bit of training for ABC. Of
mm,
course, by the
yes.
time you reached ISP interview stage, you were already, you had
Mm,
practiced a lot with so many people,
mm,
including me. But
yes.
when ABC happened, you were quite new to the entire interview experience. And I think
Mm,
maybe lack of practice was one of the reasons that led you not to, that led it to all the rejects eventually. But why exactly do you think those rejects happen? Uh, I am talking about ABC, according to you. Of course, all those three are very, very different
mm,
interview experiences on their own. But did you
mm.
feel there was something lacking in you during those three interviews, or maybe the day was wrong and the panelists were just too harsh to you, or something like that?
I think that would the like panelists being too harsh and grilling that happened with me at my IIMB interview. My interview went on for 40 like almost like 40-45 minutes. Like initially they had said that we would take 15 to 20 minutes per interview, but it dragged on and they kept on grilling me. And I am somebody who's coming from a marketing background, but since I was working in cybersecurity, I was asked a lot of questions about like in-depth technical questions about different formats of like cybersecurity protocols and everything.
Okay.
Those were very in-depth and technical, which I was not able to probably answer in the best way. Uh, but that said, I think for IIMC, lack of practice was the main reason that led to like not
IMC was your
getting the shortlist. Yes.
one, so I understand that.
Yes. So my interview also wasn't didn't go great. I was like I had a little bit of anxiety, and when they started grilling me a little bit, I kind of felt nervous, and that showed up during my interview. So that was attributed to I would attribute that to the lack of practice. And IIMA, I was a little bit hopeful because my interview went pretty well, but
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't my day, maybe. Like I was the last in my slot, the last one to interview in my slot,
Okay.
and professors were pretty fatigued by then, I would say. But yeah, it wasn't just my day.
Okay. Now let's come to ISP. What happened on the interview day? What exactly do you think they were trying to know from you on the interview, during the interview, I mean?
So my ISP interview went on for about like the standard 25 to 30 minutes interview.
Hmm.
And ISB interview, honestly, like was my best interview experience. Even though my IIMA interview was after my ISB interview, but ISB interview was the best one, I
Oh,
would say.
IMA was after ISP. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I did not know that.
Just a few
Because you
days after
prepared for
ISB.
both of them together at almost at the same time.
Yes, yes.
While you're taking IMA mocks with the alum, you also you also started with ISP mocks, I remember.
Yes, yes. At the same time, I took
Okay,
it.
continue.
At my ISB interview, the whole interview, the main difference between IIM and ISB interview is that the ISB interview was much more conversational, and it was the alums who were interviewing. They were more interested in what I have done so far, rather than asking me technical questions or something. And my interview, since I feel I am a candidate with higher years of experience than the average at ISB, I was asked more around my leadership skills. Like I got questions on resolving conflicts at work between my team members, and as a team lead, how would I deal with different situations? And it went on into such in-depth that at one point, like I had to mention my teammates' names, and I think the alums by the end of my answers were all aware of all the people's names in my team. So that was one thing there. And other than that, ISB, during the ISB interview, I was also asked about, like, since I have had a substantial years of experience across across different industries and profiles. So they were also curious to know that how would ISB help in my journey? Why am I not continuing to do that through my career? Like, since I'm already working with an international company, why do I need ISB? So that bit I had to convince them for a while, I would say. But all in all, it was like a great interview experience. And yes, I was hopeful after the interview.
So you think they stressed mostly on why ISB and how ISB will help you to achieve your goals?
Yes, it was I would say two things that was like the main highlight of my interview is
Hmm.
why I would come to ISB, how ISB would help me, and what would I contribute to ISB. So
Okay.
my interview
Sorry,
mainly
sorry,
centered around.
sorry, sorry. I have to stop you because I'm taking notes. I have to share the summary with other people.
Yes, yes,
So
sure.
why ISB? Then how will you contribute to ISB, right?
Yes, yes, mostly around these two.
Okay. Okay. Now, Shanthani, again, that is the, I mean, the reason is that you worked with me, but you
Mm,
are again one of the people who started the entire application process much before taking a GMAT. You are already
mm,
working slightly for the some, but for the application before you even took your GMAT.
mm,
Again, there are so many people who are still waiting to get their perfect GMAT or GRE score before starting the application. What
mm.
do you want to say to those people?
I mean, I was also in the same boat at one
Yeah,
point in time, and I was thinking that let's wait for the GMAT score and then
yeah,
I will decide on the application. But once I like started learning about what is involved in the application process and all the steps in it, and I realized that if I am taking the GMAT just 3 days before the application deadline, I won't be able to wrap up my application by the time even if I get my desired score.
right.
So that's why I started working much early, at least like some 25 days earlier before taking my GMAT. I had
Yeah,
already kept basic drafts of my essays ready. I had talked to my managers to get the LOs on time and everything. So that was really helpful to wrap up my applications on time.
right. Uh, one more thing. You did your IM applications on your own.
Yes.
So, did going through that entire journey of ISB application help you in some way in doing your IM applications?
Definitely, definitely, it was helpful, especially with the essays at IIM A and B because sorry, IIM B and C.
B and C.
Uh,
A is
B
different.
and C. Yes, yes, A is different exactly. So for B and C, the essays, though the topics were different, some there was some overlap in the how I was like because ultimately I'm telling my own story. So getting the help about getting the guidelines about writing the ISB application essays was really helpful for me in drafting my IIM ABSS. And I also was in touch with a few alums from
Okay.
IIM A and B. So when I showed them my essays, and I didn't get much feedback for changes. So I would say ISBSS would be definitely helpful.
Okay. So this I wanted to tell everyone. I keep telling this to people that for B and C, you do not need any professional help. B and C is just one essay each. B has a 700 words SOP, C has a 500 words SOP. All you need to do is to ensure you take care of the difficult colleges first, ISB and IIM Ahmedabad. The other two ones will be done easy. At least for the application part, you might not need anything. Okay, Sandhani, because there are no questions in the chat, uh, just give me a moment. I'm allowing people to unmute themselves as well if they want to. Any final tips or anything that you'd want to give to people who are going to apply to IIMs and
Uh,
ISB both?
I think the application process might be a bit different. The application and selection process might be a bit different at IIMs and ISB.
Okay.
But one thing I would tell you to keep in your mind is you should have a number one college in your mind always. Uh, like one college, you cannot be like, okay, if this does not happen, then this is my backup. Okay, it is definitely good to have backups. But for me, ISB was always my plan. And if it didn't happen this year, I would have applied this year, the next year, or and the year after that. So you should have that kind of conviction and uh, conviction and like passion for a particular college or particular B school, I would say. And keep working towards it as long as you don't get in. Just don't give up. Like this year, ISB didn't happen, so I work tactically and try for maybe some baby IIMs or something, some other colleges, and just settle with something else. But just don't settle, I would say. If somebody who has gone through difficult challenges like me can make it through ISB, so I think everyone can.
Yeah, and that's why I talk a lot about mentality. That's why I have banned people from talking about year two colleges in the group. Literally in the group, I think it was there during your time also, Sayantani, if you remember.
Yeah.
If you are
Yeah.
mentioning even IMT Ghaziabad or IMI Delhi and I don't know what random colleges they used to talk about, I used to remove people from the group. I have kept the standards very high to ensure that everyone is only focused on the top. And ठीक है, people still go to XLRI, which is not a bad
Yes.
choice at all. But people who are going to XLRI or IIM Lucknow, they are going after realizing that okay, they have given their best, nahi hua top college, and also they don't want to take another drop year. I mean, they
Mm.
don't want to wait for another year to pursue their MBA. That can be personal,
Mm.
but while starting, your eyes should be on the top two colleges, that is ISB and IIM
Yes.
Ahmedabad, nothing else. So this is very, very important, and I ensure that I implement this very strongly and harshly also. Even during one-to-one call with me, two people are attending this call who just had a call with me one-to-one 2 hours before this call. And I told them that you don't even talk about other colleges with me. If you're talking to me, talk only about ISB and IIM Ahmedabad. There is just a, imagine that the other colleges do not exist. Bangalore and Calcutta, we will see when you reach there.
Mm.
But not now. Now, right now, the eyes should be on ISB and IIM Ahmedabad. Okay, Harshvardhan has asked a very good question, which is the question I'm sure even others would want to know this. How did you manage your GMAT preparation with work? Now, this is not very unique to Anthony. Almost everyone who's
Mm.
preparing for GMAT or GRE, they're doing it with work only. No
Mm.
one, unless you're very rich enough to leave your job and prepare for GMAT or GRE, it is not really advised. So, how did you do that, Anthony? Any specific strategies you employed?
Yes, so I started preparing for my GMAT while I was like working, and at that time it was like work from office all I think I had to go in 4 days a week, and I stay in Bangalore, so half of my time was spent in traffic. Other than that, I think what helped me in my GMAT prep, I prepped for around about 5-6 months before giving my attempt, and what I used to do is before going to work, I would just maybe wake up in the morning and have a scheduled time for quant maybe. And then I would say like after coming back from office, after that I would prepare for verbal. So initially I started out by making my concepts very clear. I would go on YouTube and all other resources that are there available on GMAT Club. So I would just make sure that I go through each topic and have very good conceptual understanding, and also practice some questions along with it. And definitely, there is no replacement for the OG books. You have to finish them up. And the first thing that you have to do is you have to finish them up, and the OG books and the OG mocks, I would say. So yes, so that was my focus, and it paid off. I was good in verbal, but I was not that great in quant, so I focused on quant more. I spent more hours on quant than verbal, and eventually I managed to get a 49. At that time, it was a classic format, so I managed to get a 49 in quant.
Okay. Any other questions? Guys, you can ask directly when muting yourself. Because if there are no more questions,
I think I got a direct message.
हाँ, please.
Yes, so Siaram is asking, like for IIMC, you mentioned about lack of practice. Could you elaborate? Do you mean taking less mocks? So, what I would say that yes, definitely taking less number of mocks. First of all, my IIMC interview was my first ever B school interview.
Yeah.
So that mindset also needs to be there. What you would expect from people there, what you would answer, how you would appear in the interview. I had no zero ideas about it. And also I felt that okay, people
Anthony,
are.
I just want you to stop. Just pause a while
Yes.
because this is very, very motivating for all the people who are attending this call. She just told me she had no clue about talking about post MBA goals, why this college, why that college. And from that stage, within a few weeks, converting ISP with a 690, which is much lower than the average score of GMAT. It's a great feat. And why am I pinpointing it? That not knowing something is totally okay. All you need to do is to figure out what do you don't know and then work on it according to the feedback provided. It's not that difficult. It's not a rocket science. Some many times people feel very overwhelmed that, oh, there are so many other intelligent people who know everything. I don't even know why I want to do an MBA. I don't even know what kind of jobs I would want to do. It is completely okay. Many people only figure it out after submitting the essays. But as long as you do it properly, once you know what are things you'll be able to do it within a few weeks. Okay, sir. Sorry to
Definitely.
interrupt. Please continue.
No, definitely, I agree with what you say that when I started taking mocks for IIMC, I just took two mocks, which I feel wasn't enough, and I should have taken more. But at that time, I had confidence that I'm good with job interviews, but I didn't expect that the B school interview would be so much entirely different from a job interview. So that was my first lesson for me after facing the IIMC interview. And by the time I reached my ISB interview, what I had done was taken every little bit of feedback from every alum that I have interacted with. And I remember before my ISB interview, I spoke to at least 7, 8 alums. I have reached out to them. And I remember talking to since I was interested in marketing, I was talking to the marketing club president for 1 hour at 1:30 a.m. in the night, just 2 days before
Please,
my
guys,
ISB
please
interview.
listen to this. And people who will be a reapplicant next year, please, if this much hard work you have not done, please understand how much work needs to be done. And this is not only Santhony, anyone who has at least in a way associated with me or just a part of my group. I have given them the LinkedIn template on how to message the alums. So Anthony, if you remember, we shared that LinkedIn template during the project start early call. That call is I'm doing again for these people for the next year applicant and maybe next 2, 3 weeks to reach out and ask what questions to ask. Also, I have shared a list with everyone that these are the questions you need to ask. Okay, continue.
Definitely, that was really helpful, and I gave my heart and soul into it because I got my ISB invite at a time when I thought all the Bangalore invites had been rolled out because there was like these rumors floating around, and I was like quite disheartened by that point, and it came like a miracle on my inbox. And I just had 3 days to prepare for the interview. But since I had been taking mocks before, like after between the window of my submitting my applications and getting the interview shortlist. So I was quite at a well prepared stage. And by the time I got the interview in the 3 days, I like gave my heart and soul to it and I prepared as much as possible. I was writing down each and every one of
Yeah.
my answers multiple times, practicing in front of the mirror and taking as many mocks as possible as you also insisted. So,
Right.
and each and every mock, I remember the last, after I took the mock with you, I took another mock with another alum that
Yes.
connected me with.
Yeah.
So he gave me quite a lot of feedback around post ISB goals.
Okay.
So I literally wrote down like 2, 3 pages long answers based on his feedback. And it was so helpful because at the interview I got asked the very same questions.
Ah,
And that formed like a major percentage of my interview duration.
okay.
So it was really helpful. Like taking mocks, there is no substitute to it.
Okay. Uh, Sangeeta has asked a good question. What were the differentiating factors when you mentioned about job and B school interviews? Means what are the difference between a typical job interview and a B school interview?
So since I work in marketing, so for marketing roles, whenever I'm getting interviewed, people would ask about what you have achieved and how you will be like they will give a description of what the role entails and what they expect you to do from that role. But one main important thing at B-School interview is they are also asking you that how would they contribute to your career journey. At a job interview, this is not a part of a job interview. The company is not bothered about it. So this point you have to keep in mind, and if possible, keep this in your intro whenever you are introducing yourself at a B-School interview. Keep this in mind and keep this in your intro that how ISB or IIMA is helpful for my career journey so far. That what exactly is my career lacking because I don't have the knowledge or whatever I aim to gain from these B schools.
Okay. Sayed is saying that his interview went really well, but they attacked the goal why consulting. No matter what topic is going on, they always came back to why consulting. Did you also get similar questions? Did did you think they kind of stress you a lot on why marketing or why this particular post MBA goal?
I think not exactly that, but yes, I got a question around like why marketing. But since I already had a background in marketing, so that wasn't a big question. Like I gave one answer and they were quite satisfied with it. But more focus of my interview was around my leadership skills.
Okay. Rupesh is asking, do we need to have an idea on any other subjects apart from our profile or our core area for interviews? Rupesh, for ISB, absolutely not. Everything will be limited to your application. That's why it is very crucial to get the application right. Each and every point should be written very carefully with the lens of the interview. I always say ISB application should be written while holding the lens for the interview, which means every line you're writing, you should ask yourself, okay, this is what I have written. These are the questions they might ask. Will I be able to answer these questions or not? Even if you have some doubt that you will not be able to answer it properly, remove that entire incident. Don't write it. That is ISB. IIM Ahmedabad, they can ask anything. If you had attended our last call with three, it was an actual call with five IMA admits, but two couldn't join. With three IMA admits, we did the call. Please, I hope you have seen that how they can literally ask anything. Extempore topic, they can ask anything, and then it can lead to we cannot expect to anywhere. So that
Even at sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, no,
Like
I just let me finish IIM Ahmedabad. So IIM Ahmedabad, you need to know a bit about current affairs, geopolitical and socio-economic issues of the country, and obviously about your profile. Bangalore and Calcutta, if Sayantani, you want to add something.
So Bangalore and Calcutta, mostly like in Bangalore, I got two senior professors for my interview, and they mostly asked me around technical questions around marketing, which I was able to answer, and then a lot of, I would say, textbook questions around the industry that you are working in. So learn them very thoroughly, current affairs about your industry or your particular work function. So make sure you are super prepared about that. And in IIM Calcutta also. In IIM Calcutta, I was stumped with a maths question because the basis of that was you don't have a PCM on engineering background, and there is a lot of maths involved in MBA. So how would you cope? And for that, when before I could answer, the professor gave me a maths question to solve right on spot. So even if I was able to solve it, but somehow maybe I took some time in solving it, so that was a negative point in my interview. But yeah, whatever happened. That was that. And I would like to add about IIM Ahmedabad because I got a very weird extempore topic. My topic was, should cannabis be legalized in India?
Wow.
So,
What did
so
you say?
and
Did you talk about the medical benefits of cannabis?
so no, I say that it shouldn't be legalized, and I spoke about the harms and everything. But the professors just came, like, kept on coming back at
Yeah.
me with like very solid pointers, and that formed like 60% of my interview.
Okay. So I am Calcutta asking maths questions and puzzles is very, very common. Please note it down. IIM Ahmedabad generally doesn't ask about your graduation course, topics related to your undergrad, but they did it for one candidate last year. Even I was very surprised. They started asking her law of thermodynamics and all that because she was a chemical engineering graduate. So they might do that if they don't find anything better to ask you. But IIM Calcutta has a habit of asking maths and puzzles based questions, specifically if you're not coming from tech or mathematics background. I hope, Rupesh, that answers your question. Okay. Rishi is asking how important the reapplicant is. First of all, Sayantani is not a reapplicant. She did not apply only after getting a 690. So she is a first time applicant. Regarding how important is reapplicant is, Rishi is definitely important because when the interviewer, and I'm talking about ISB, when the interviewer will open their PDF, I mean your application PDF to take your interview, the reapplicant word would be written in the in big uh, font in the first page only. So they would know that you are a reapplicant. So they might would want to see how you have progressed since the last year. And that is the topic of reapplicant essay. So you have to pay full attention to it. Kshitiz has asked a very good question. IIM, ISB versus IMA for marketing, product marketing. I would say ISB. Like, definitely. ISB is not really known for its marketing placement because very few people aim at marketing at ISB. The ecosystem and the pedagogy and the professors and everything is very strong at ISB. IIM Ahmedabad sits very closely, though, very, very closely. So, uh, I mean, there is, but ISB will stand better. What about finance? Finance, the best college in finance in the entire country is IIM Calcutta 2-year MBA, not 1 year, 2-year MBA. Nothing beats IIM Calcutta 2-year MBA for finance. For 1-year MBA, I think you can go with ISB. But again, for the crazy roles in finance, that is IB and all, they take fresher and junior students. So for that, 2-year MBA is better. In case you are looking for 1-year MBA, you can still look at IIM Calcutta and ISB. What is IMA good for? Kshitij, IMA is very, very good for general management and product management roles. And again, I'm talking about 1-year MBA of IIM. Very, very good for general management roles and product management as well. Okay. Anything else? You can unmute and ask directly if you don't want to type. Otherwise, I don't mind ending the call. Shantini has just 1-2 days left to do the packing and leaving. Where are you right now? Bangalore.
Yes, yes, in Bangalore.
Coming by flight or train?
By flight, I'll
By flight.
travel.
Anjali has asked a very good question. How did you justify pursuing an MBA in marketing while already working in that field?
Yes, so that formed the crux of my interview. So
Yes.
I'd be happy to answer that. Yes, so the thing is, what I felt while working in marketing is that everything that I have gained knowledge about was through like hands-on, working hands-on on a particular topic. But the thing is, in marketing, it's such a broad spectrum thing involving so many different subjects and niches. So I felt that I had gained expertise in some areas like digital marketing, social media marketing, content marketing, a little bit of brand management, which I had done in my last role. But at the same time, working at a senior role in marketing, which I am aspiring for, requires your knowledge of other fields of business like finance, revenue, operations, which I did not have a very good knowledge at. And I was very open about that in my ISP applications and interview that I know things about marketing. I wouldn't lie about that. I am passionate about marketing. But to grow as a leader in marketing, maybe to become a CMO or later see myself as like a senior brand director type of role, I need knowledge of other areas of business. So that's why I need the MBA.
Hmm. But it's a very, very important question for ISB.
Yes,
IMA might not stress you on this, but if you're already doing something and you say if and you want to remain in the same field, they will definitely ask, why do you need the MBA? There is no way they will not ask this. And you
definitely. I
have
got
to
asked.
justify this.
I got asked. And one thing I mentioned during my interview was that at ISB, I'll get to interact with peers from different backgrounds and industries. So that would also add to my learning. But they counter question that since I am already working in an international company, I am getting to learn so many different things from my work people who are spread across the globe already.
Hmm.
So how would ISB be any different? So I had to justify that as well during my interview.
Okay. Why ISB and why not IIM when you have 5+ years of work ex?
I had applied for IIMs. I did not get the final admit, but ISB had always been my top priority because I only applied to ISB and IIMs A, B, and C.
Anjali, just to tell you, even IIM average work ex is around 4.3 or 4.4 years only of the entire batch. So if someone has more than 5 years of experience, you do not become very old for that school. Please understand that. Average work ex of ISB is not 2 years or even 3 years.
Mm.
It is more than four. When I was at ISB, it was actually five. Since then, it has reduced, but it's still more than four. So even if you have more than 5 years of work experience, you're still sitting very near to average. Yeah, Sayed, you wanted to ask something. I have just provided the permission to unmute and
Hi, both of you. Um, I was the one who asked you about they were attacking my goal, like why
Hmm,
consulting,
hmm.
right? Yeah, I heard your answer. My answer was on the similar lines, exactly why I want to do the consulting. I don't understand. I'm not sure, but did this did they counter question a lot on you on the marketing side, or they were just convinced with this answer?
So I think my interview got steered in a different direction because when I was answering about why do you want to do marketing, when I was answering about like how I need the knowledge, I need to gain knowledge and the know-how of different other areas of business. So my interview got steered a little bit in that direction, and it eventually came more around, as I said, like my areas of expertise and leadership skills. So that is not exactly a similar situation I would say I had faced. But if ISB is insisting on the same question to you again and again, maybe like they are finding a lack of parity between the work experience you already have and your post MBA goal. So it is very important to bridge that in your answers.
Okay, thank you. So that means you are saying that if my goal is something that is not unrelated to my current work or my profile, there has to be a solid reasoning. That's what you're saying.
Yes, definitely. Like I am talking to other ISB admits right now, and a lot of other people also faced similar kind of situations because if they are not coming from a consulting background or something, not particularly consulting, there are like people who want to go for PM roles, but they do not have any product experience before. So they also kind of got these questions repeatedly, like a lot of stress on this question. So you have to show like what you are lacking in your current work and what exactly is your motivation to go into that particular role post MBA.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Because in the interview only they gave me this feedback that why consulting is not clear for me. That's other things are very fine, very good. That's what they said. I think this year I have to focus on that.
How did you get the feedback?
That at that point of time, Anshul, I have told you that they said one of the interviewers said, Samir, your profile is fabulous and not this blah blah, but there needs to be more clarity on why consulting. That's what he said at that point.
Okay.
Hmm.
Anjali is saying, my question is that how do we convince the ISB panel? First of all, Anjali, ISB never asks why not IIMs. Very rarely. It's very, very rare that they will ask. Sometimes when you're too young, they might ask why ISB and not why IIM 2-year MBA. But for 1 year, for people who are older, they will not ask why ISB and why not IIM. ISB does not really care about other schools. This question is always asked by IIM Bangalore, in case you guys want to note.
Yes.
They always ask,
Yes,
which
sir.
other schools you've applied to? Which one will you choose if you get? I don't know what do they get by asking this. Did they ask you also, Santhani?
Yes, yes. They asked me that if I'm aware of MICA,
Huh.
and so they
Oh,
asked
acha.
me like,
They took
since
the
it
name
is,
also of Micah.
yes, yes. So they asked me the full form of MICA, where is
Why?
it situated? I don't know. And then
These
they asked me like,
random schools, guys, please fight for ISB and IIM Ahmedabad. Do not go to these schools which are asking full form of Micah and all.
so they asked me
So
like, since
funny.
it is well known for marketing,
Yeah.
so they asked me, why aren't you going for
First of all,
this and
Micah
why
is
I
not for
am being
marketing. Micah is specifically for advertising or marketing
advertising exactly.
communications. That's it.
Mm.
It is not for marketing. This is a big, I don't know, rumor, I would say, or is a faulty information that is floating. Mika is not for marketing.
Mm.
Okay, Mika has a complicated full name. I didn't even know it is. I thought it's just named Mika. I don't know it has a complicated full name. And why will IIM Bangalore ask the full form of some other B school? So what are they trying to judge? And on what basis they are taking admission if they are asking these questions? Anyway, that's
Mm.
not my problem to solve. Okay. Uh, Guys, I repeat, if you have to ask any questions, please ask. I have given the right to unmute. Second, I have also put the link to a WhatsApp group if you have not joined it yet. If there are no questions, both of us would like to go and chill in the call and relax. I was telling someone that Santhony's your first mock was taken on 1st of January.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yes. Yes.
With me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I had just shifted to Hyderabad. My entire house was empty. There was no internet also. And
Mm.
there was a lot of disturbances that day because I was using
Yes.
4G to take your mock. And it was just a good beginning on the new year. And it actually worked
Mm.
out in your favor. I was just telling the story to someone before this call. So again, I think there are no more questions. So Santhony, congratulations once again. And I
Thank you.
will see you on Friday night, early
Yes.
evening,
Yes.
not
Sure.
really night. And yeah, looking forward to see you, meet you, and all the best.
Definitely. And all the best to the people who are applying for next year.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.